The most unique appearance of any Mazda crossover. Branded hood graphics. One-of-a-kind 18-inch alloy wheels with all-terrain tread tires. A cargo capability for all of your weekend fun. And of course, the interior amenities and driving dynamics you expect from a Mazda. What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, Alabama. And you see this beauty over my shoulder. It's the 2023 CX-50 Meridian Edition. And this is an off-road wonder. And we're gonna go over all the features and details. We're gonna go inside, we're gonna go outside, and all the way around so that you can see exactly why this is such a special vehicle and something that you should consider. So let's jump in.
More car vids. More car vids.
Let's get started up front. Of course, this is the second turbo trim. So you have the turbo, then the turbo Meridian here that we have. And this is the one that you saw from the very get-go from all of the advertising, although it didn't arrive until the second half of last year. And this is actually the first one that we've had available on the lot. And we'll talk about all the accessories and all the features in just a minute, but let's get started up front. Of course, this is the same gloss black front signature wing here that all CX-50s have. Of course, you can note the turbo from this extra bumper garnish here, as well as see the housing for the radar down low. So as all off-road CX-50s were designed to have the pedestrian radar sensor and the Mazda radar cruise control down low, instead of in a clear lens that would be prohibited with mud, bugs. It's down here in the plastic so that you can still have those safety features and those convenient items when you get a little dirty. Also, as we slide back up the hood here, this is a unique graphic to the Meridian Edition, so CX-50 Meridian Edition. And although it does look pretty good with these body lines of the hood, it also, as you can tell, reflects the glare. So not as much coming back on the driver and passenger as you're going down the trails and being more off-road. Of course, carrying further up here, you have the camera as well as your headlight sensor and rain sensing wiper sensor right there. So you have safety features and convenient features in the windshield. And we'll talk about the platform here in just a minute. With all turbo models, you upgrade to the signature lighting, which has the adaptive lights, as well as this little halo around a ring around the projector beam headlights there. Those are also your LED daytime running lights. And then, of course, down here you have the sleek style of your turn signals. Of course, part of the rugged design of the CX-50 are these accents in the front and the rear, and these are actually functional. They do have a little flow through there to allow to dry out or cool off your brakes as necessary. So you can see those blowing through a little bit on the side here. And of course, while we're standing here, these 18-inch wheels are absolutely beautiful. And every other turbo model has the 20-inch wheel, which was really a 20-inch wheel on the crossover was fantastic, and glad to see it with these wheel wells here. But this is what we need on an off-road model. So an 18-inch wheel, less wheel, more rubber. And these Falcon Wild Peaks are fantastic. Low noise on the road, but also have the teeth in the tread to give you a little bit of extra traction when you are in varying terrains. Also, you see this extra, point down there actually, this extra garnish here, which is part of the Meridian. And one thing that we didn't mention because it's missing, some early Meridians do have a headlight garnish that just comes around here. This one was made at a time when those parts were limited, so they kept them rolling off the production line. So you may see some with that extra headlight garnish. But you do have this extra accent that ties into the front bumper. Of course, as all CX-50s, you have a gloss black mirror cap with your LED turn signals here, also on the ends, and then your triangle light for blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic. And we'll talk about the inside in just a minute, but this outside, of course, is available in 2 exterior colors. All Meridians are either Polymetal Gray or Zircon Sand. So 2 options there. And as we step back for a minute, you'll notice, and we'll talk about this roof platform. So this is part of what they call the Apex package, which has had some limits as well. The first thing that you'll notice is that these crossbars and the roof platform are different than the crossbars that you would add as an accessory. All CX-50s have the roof rails, and you can see it's pretty much flat. A couple of reasons for that. Number 1, the panoramic roof. Number 2, they're designed to have more accessories up top. So it's even loading, and also a lower height than the CX-5 for 2 reasons there. Number 1, because they can allow for accessories and cargo up top. But number 2, it's easier to reach. And we'll show you that in just a minute when we get on the other side of how it's got a built-in step. Also, you have this roof platform and these crossbars, which don't have the aluminum look. They're actually a harder plastic design in this Apex package than the aluminum. So it's built in, and of course you can add a rooftop tent or other necessary cargo or convenient comfort sleeping arrangements, whatever's necessary. And the front and rear splash guards are also part of that Apex package. This is a $1,235 option, and you can add those separately if you choose also, depending on availability. As we slide around here to the back, see the bright chrome badging, CX-50 all-wheel drive, of course the Skyactiv G Turbo and this nice emblem up here, but also a little bit more of a flatter instead of that round bump that we see and in the 30 and the 5 and things like that. Also, you have that rear garnish here that matches the front, and a similar style tail light. So lights up here, and then of course your bright reverse lights right there, and the other ones on the outside are your turn signal. On this model, you just have the backup camera, but do have a power rear liftgate, as you see, that is programmable, so you can adjust the height as necessary. And the same storage as those wheels are pushed out with the shoulders and hips that you can see here for a wider track, more stable in every terrain, and also a great feel on road. So you have, with those pushed out, you have more of a 90-degree flat area here for cargo, which would allow more cargo here, but also you can put a cooler or other items here, whereas you'd have to slide that out in some vehicles with their wheel well hump. So everything's tied in just right. Of course, you have your full height spare in here and a little bit of room for extra storage. Do have some other accessories here and spacing for other cargo. And it's a 60-40 split, so you can fold those down either side or both and fit even more cargo, and still have room for passengers back there depending on what your needs are at the time. Back here you have a couple of buttons. Of course, I can hit this button here for the liftgate or also on the key fob. And here's what my middle son Xander calls the ultimate lock. So if you hit that button, it'll drop down and lock all the doors. So just one button to walk away, which is real convenient if you are going out on the trail or going for a hike or whatever the case is. Now, as we walk around to this side, you'll also see that there is a 8.5-inch ground clearance. So the standard turbos go to 8.6. So there's a little difference with the different wheel size, but you still have kind of that squatty design. So lower height and higher ground clearance than the CX-5 specifically. So you can get better approach angles and over top of different terrains and whatever's necessary and wherever you want to go on the CX-50. Now, talking about specific design here, of course, these larger flares or cladding that some people don't like, of course, when you're in the brush and when those are pushed out, they're going to make contact with all branches, shrubs, and all other type of scrubbing. So no scratches on the paint, but you'll just hit this plastic area here, but also they reinforced this door sill here to use as a step. And so here's that step. You can just step right up here and load anything that you need to right here from this door sill, which is very convenient to reach everything up here in the platform. Now as we walk across take another look at the full vehicle here, you can see I'm on a little bit of an angle, but back here in our trade hill area, and it's all green. It's a beautiful day, pretty warm. And one thing to point out is that you can, with the push of the key, and I think I have it right here, so fourth time's the charm. 1, 2, 3, 4 will get you all the windows down. And of course, this is a great way as you're approaching the vehicle to air it out on a warm day like today before you hop in. But also one thing to keep in mind is that you have the My Mazda app. So through your smartphone, you can locate this car, you can flash its lights, you can lock it and unlock it. So even if you think you may have forgotten to lock it and be down the trail, anywhere there's a cell service for this car and your phone, you can connect to this car and also get alerts on if there's an open door, or et cetera, et cetera. So very convenient, especially when you're going to be away from your vehicle. Now let's check out what's underneath the decals here. You have your air box that comes and feeds back to the turbo, then your Skyactiv-G turbo with a little bit of a wider engine cover because it kind of covers it up here and makes space for this control module here. There's the actual turbo in the back, and you can see your shocks top there. And just taking a look down here, how your frame is underneath and everything's connected. It is a 6-speed automatic that feeds in there, and of course an all-wheel drive system, iActive all-wheel drive. So it's a front-wheel drive first platform, but does send torque back here to the rear on a as-needed basis. And what makes Mazda's system different, which adds to the off-road capability, is that it actually predicts when you'll need traction. So it keeps some in reserve or on hand back there, and when needed, it monitors many different sensors, such as exterior temperature, such as whether you have your windshield wipers on, what temperature you have the cabin set on, and also all these wheel sensors here to know when you need traction. And the idea is that it has that torque in reserve so that it will be there before you actually need it and before you get stuck. So it's a great convenience, especially on a vehicle like this that you're going to be going on multiple terrains and don't want to have to worry about engaging any four-wheel drive or anything. It gives you that help really before you need it. Also, you have your fuses and relays right here, battery. All of the fluids that you have to worry about are in a clear container. This engine is 256 horsepower with premium fuel, 227 with regular, and of course 320 foot-pounds of torque for a fantastic fuel rating and the torque and performance you need, which will actually get you 3,500 pounds of towing with the Mazda accessory. And that 2-inch insert is great for all types of other accessories. And here's a little clip of one we just installed on a CX-50. So it allows you a bunch of other accessories as well as towing, so you can enjoy all of your items, hobbies, and recreation. Now let's jump inside. As I think I mentioned early on, there's only one interior available with the Meridian. It's the Terracotta, and this was designed to bring the outside in. So this contrast stitching design, contrast interior colors, this is your earth tones in the Terracotta brought inside. So black and terracotta, and you can see this black soft touch materials with the cross stitching. Of course, the armrest, the top level of the seating, and the console lid just give it just that right touch. And these seats, as the vehicle's wider, are wider than the CX-5. And of course, all these little contrast stitches and laces to symbolize a hiking boot. Also, this perforated seat here, it adds for extra comfort. These are heated seats on the Meridian Edition, you also have a power seat set up over here and a power seat over here. So a lot of crossovers in this day and time don't have dual power seats, but this one does. And when you slide inside here, you'll notice that it gives you the look of a cockpit with these vertical air vents. So you can position these to blow back around and to really feel the temperature and the fan speed. And I'm sweating a lot right now as it's over 80 degrees, but you can see how it also blends into with this vent here for your passenger, and then ties in the same styling on the side there. So if I can hold this camera back far enough, you can kind of see both of that cockpit styling carried across. And of course, let's just go ahead and crank it up. You have the CX-50 display, the big display available here with your tachometer and your oil, or excuse me, your temperature and fuel over here. And of course, I don't have my seatbelt and I got a door open, but enjoying a little bit of this air blowing in. And a couple of neat features. You can pick up a digital speedometer even if you don't have the heads-up display like this vehicle does not. So you have some extra benefits there. This is a 7th gen system with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which is great, and which is an upgraded feature standard on the Meridian. And then I really love these kind of piano key touch points here for the HVAC, heated seats underneath, which I don't need that today, and your MI drive or drive modes right here, so you can toggle back and forth. There's sport, there's normal, and there's off-road. And when you add that hitch and harness, it picks up a towing mode, so you can let the system know what you're doing. You have a regular DC charger here. Then you have 2 USBs here. And you also have USBs in the rear of the console here, and we'll hop back there in just a minute. So a lot of accessibility for charging, comfort, and convenience. And of course, the panoramic roof, which up top here we'll see most of the platform, but it does let in a little more light inside. And it is set up where you can open it and it not be hampered by the platform. Also, you have a auto dimming rear view mirror here with HomeLink, and when you hit the rear defrost, it also turns on the heated side mirrors. So all temperatures and all setups, you'll be all areas outdoors, you'll be ready with the heated mirrors and the interior temperatures here and settings. So let's hop in the back seat. All right, here I am. So here's those USBs, here's your air vents, and what this adds with the 6 inches longer than the CX-5, a little more leg room and a little bit more cargo room back here. So that's fantastic. Of course, you have the same seating on the outboard design with perforations, and then you have this fold down armrest with cup holders and a little different design look on the door cards back here, but you do tie in with the terracotta, and you do have the gray, which is a lighter contrast. So it's a little bit easier to navigate when you're looking out and around. And you can see up front how thin those front A-pillars are for visibility. Even though the windows are a little bit shorter on this platform than the CX-5, you do have good visibility out of the front and decent visibility out of the rear, even with these quarter panels, quarter windows back here that help. All of those design elements give you better visibility all the way around from the front. And back here in the back, we are sitting up higher than the front seats, so it's easier for you to add car seats or other luggage or cargo with the seats are up or down. And it allows when I'm riding back here, I can see over the shoulder, so I can see and enjoy any type of different terrains or off-roading, but also not get motion sick or car sick from not knowing where we're at or what's going on. So very convenient. The last thing I'll talk about while I'm back here is that you can see this airbag here. So we do have canopy airbags. You have front knee airbags. You also have your traditional airbags in the steering wheel and the dash, and then in the bolsters of this front seat as well. And just an easy access, one push of a button. See how this ties in right here. slide that down. So here's that design right here for the 60/40 split. But what you may not have realized is you also have a shoulder and chest airbag back here for the rear, so your outboard passengers can take advantage of that as well. So that's it, the off-road wonder, the Meridian Edition CX-50. It's a very beautiful vehicle, and of course the Apex package is optional and based on parts availability. So I actually have another one, that's right, 2 Meridian Editions came in, and one with and without the Apex package. If you have any questions or comments, as always, you can drop them down below, or you can text me at 334-718-0504. The beautiful Polymetal gray Meridian Edition, ready to go on-road for ultimate Mazda driving dynamics, or off-road for iActive all-wheel drive, turbo power, and a lot of fun with all the cargo room you need. I can't wait to see you enjoying a CX-50 Mazda off-road crossover, and any Mazda, because they're all so fun and so beautiful. They're Mazdas.
More